Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Bendigo East Bowls Club. We have a men's singles final between Stevie Sullivan from the Geelong region, the Queenscliff Bowls Club, and Nathan Murray from the Yarra region and the Bandora Bowls Club. I'm Jimmy Whitehead, Events and Competitions Manager at Bowls Victoria. Next to me, as always, is Josh Thornton. How you going?
Good, Jimmy. This afternoon should be two cracking finals. Whilst we are streaming the game you mentioned of Stevie Sullivan versus Nathan Murray, the ladies match a couple rinks across, which we'll be updating for everybody at home, between Marilyn Stevenson and Judy Nadella, should also be a very good match as well. So some high quality matches throughout the day. We just saw a great mixed pairs match through our live stream. Judy Nardella from Metro West defeated Judy Albright this morning to reach the final, and she'll be playing Marilyn Stevenson, as I said, from Bendigo Capaspy, Moama bowler, and she defeated Jodie Fruin from the Ovens and Murray.
Yeah, that's right, mate.
And Steve Sullivan, who's, as Jimmy said, from Geelong Bowls region, from Queenscliff, he defeated our reigning champion, Rhys Jeffs, in a semi-final in very convincing form. Stevie won 25-14, and Nathan had a much tougher match against Brett Mahoney from Metro West, and he defeated him 25-21.
He's taken out a few big names to go J-Boy yesterday as well. Should be a real good game, and it's, you know what, it's good to look around. There's a decent crowd still here. There's a lot of faces up for the awards night, which is kicking off in a few hours after this. So everyone coming down, watching these two amazing finals. I actually haven't watched any of Steve's games in the last couple of days, but by every account I've had, he's on form. I mean, to beat Lee Schreiner and then to back it up and beat Rhys Jeffs, you got to be bowling to a good standard.
Look, and Jimmy, you're obviously new to the role and probably new to the state a little bit, but Steve Sullivan is one we would call a bit of a legend of Victorian bowls. You know, he's played over 300 games. He predominantly was a lead bowler for our state, so he's a specialised draw bowler. Skipped for his club for years and all the rest of it, but he's a former state singles winner. He's won a champions as well. He's won a fours. He's won 4 Ali Shields for Victoria over the years, and he's probably his latest accolade is he's currently a member of the Australian over 60s representative side. And it's a newish squad, the over 60s one, and he was part of that team that won the Trans-Tasman, I believe, against New Zealand. So yeah, Nathan's had a good start.
I say what, Steve, I wish you put the jack back there.
And Nathan himself, for those watching at home, Nathan's using the orange and brown bowls, I guess we'd call them, and Steve's using the blue bowls. He's a Victorian rep. He's won the Richmond Union singles, he's won the state triples, he's won the state pairs, and when he won the state pairs, he went on to become silver in the Australian pairs. So,
and this is his third crack in a men's singles finals in State Champs Week. J-Boy took him down about 3 years ago, and he lost in January to Lee Schreiner. So
he did.
He'll be looking to go one better this time around. The first thing he said to me when I told him to get ready, he goes, "Come on, third time lucky." So it's obviously in his mind. Yeah, good reply by Steve and good switch over. But didn't need that. Nathan can just nudge his own, move Jack slightly over again. Well, sit Steve's.
Nathan is using Dreamline XG, whereas Steve is using Dreamline.
Yeah, good bowls. It's going to want to run.
It's close for second.
Yeah, it's a... Can you look to move that jack early? Marker there, signalling one. Marker is Lee Wesley from Sunbury Bowls Club.
I can't see why not, Jimmy. Like, he just plays a similar way to bowl to his last, and he happens to get a bit of jack. Might make 4.
He's going to want to hurry now.
Doesn't want to fall. Probably one.
Yeah, Lee signal one. Yep. One Nathan to kick us off.
A few of our watchers at home get it Phelpsy. It's Nathan's nickname. Do you know how that come about, Jimmy, at all, do you?
No.
No, I don't know either. I just thought you might have...
No, I don't. It's one thing I've never asked him, actually. I'm sure someone will comment with a story, as long as it's PG.
It's got to be PG. But if you know the reason, and put it in the comments, it's got to be PG.
There he goes. Good to start with again.
The only Phelpsy I know is Michael Phelps, the US swimmer, who won 6 million gold medals.
Is there a resemblance?
Maybe. Yeah, there you go. Nelson Ball, he looks like Michael Phelps. Don't remember Michael Phelps having that much...
Alright, look, there you go. Look like him in his younger days.
There you go. There you go. Everyone was bang, and it was PG.
Quite disappointed by that. I thought it was going to be
Something more than that.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see it now, looking.
Changed his hand. Talking to Bruce, who led up in the mixed pairs in the last game.
Yep.
So this hand sticks a little bit
Yes,
on the forehand.
It
So
does. It did last night too in the Force final that we streamed.
he's going to go close.
No, it's a good bowl.
Yep, catches inside. Good.
Could have even made 2. Nathan might be doing too dissimilar himself. Get up there. Needs a skirt.
Doesn't. Definitely 2 now.
Yep. I think the word I heard he used about Steve this morning was machine in his performance against Reece.
Yeah, right.
Reece, an accomplished singles bowler himself, obviously. He's here also to defend his champion's crown. And now Stevie was amazing from what I've seen. And he's looking like he's drawing another one in here as well.
That's a good bowl. Might lead to some weight coming. Or arriving pace anyway. Going under. Chance for a full house here for Steve if he can find it with his last. Found it with his other 3.
He probably just doesn't want to cross the line, stay a little wider.
Just a drop.
Oh.
Probably just rolls in.
It's close.
Probably just rolls in.
And it's 4.
Yep.
Makes the score 4-1 after 2 ends.
Ladies Singles final kicking off now as well. They've just completed their trial end, so we'll let you know how they go. Preferring this sort of slightly narrower hand, Steve, early off.
Most people have tended to play the other side if they could, so it's
Yeah,
an interesting move, but it worked for him the second end. His bowls being the older Dreamlines versus the XGs might have that little bit more turn, which might help him out there. Nathan Murray, great bowl there.
We should have got a tip from Lee, considering he's played both of these in recent times.
And Stevie
So
Sullivan's
games.
very close here. Bit of
Got
jack
it.
movement.
Got it. All
2
there.
shots.
Great bowl. Got to get down.
He's close.
Does. Yeah, oh, stiff result.
Bit of coverage there from Stevie. Nathan might be looking to do a lot different from his last. Stevie's opting for his backhand still. Just passing. Yeah, not a bad spot with the way Naif's playing that forehand.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the vicinity here.
Yeah. Wants all of it. Oh, stiff. 2 to Steve, 6-1. We think.
Well, don't go the early Crow.
Sorry, I was answering another question. Missed a couple of bowls in the head, and I
That's
tell you what, if you miss a bowl or two in an end, geez,
Particularly in the singles match, you can
changes so quick.
absolutely.
You can't see on this camera angle, but you know, JR and Ewan just stalking behind.
BA and BV.
Pathways coach.
That's it. Adam Allenton's asked what time are they turning the lights on. I would say it's soonish. It's still got some good light here at the moment.
Yep, still playing that narrow hand. I think Nate's going to follow him down there now.
Marilyn Stevenson gets one on the first end of the ladies' final.
result. Judy, who she's playing against, has played in every game except the women's final, fours final last night.
That's it.
So she's had a big task last few days. Nath holding one.
He's not far away here. Either side of Nath's bowl, he'll nearly get shot.
At least smiling his ass then, because he knew it was pretty close. Yeah, Steve gets a shot. He's got to get to his own. Nath misses, sits Steve's, comes under, draws shot.
Even got a bit of jack movement into his favour as well. Nearly dead drawn it here. Oh.
Oh, a bit of room for Nath to either roll his own in or...
Something similar. Turns the jack with that pace. Turn his own. Sit the bowl. He's wide up. He's tracking awfully close for Steve's bowl.
Got to drop. It'd be one to Steve, I think.
Takes the score 7-1 after 4 ends.
Jack just a little bit longer there by Steve, probably an extra metre or two than he wanted. Or what he had played last time. Yep, another handy start. Yeah. It's dropping short there, Nath. Maybe a foot or so.
He's nailed his line going back this way. Even the end when he dropped a one on that first end, he still was nailing his line with every bowl.
He's had a very consistent start, which is always good. Singles.
Nick, I've been telling people that the greens have been running around 15 today, and I still think it probably is. There's obviously a chance with the night air creeping in, the sun dropping, that we're going to lose a little bit of pace, but the greens have been fantastic. Nathan always plays the game in good spirits.
Yeah, he's always got a smile on his face.
Very cruisy guy. Only person I think I've ever seen get angry at is himself.
Except when he cut his finger beforehand. Me flapping around for a band-aid for him. He's bowled a bomb there.
Yeah, great bowl.
Steve doesn't have to do a lot different to his back too, actually, and he gets close to sitting it.
Absolutely. Happens to be tight, he can roll his own over, get a bit of jack movement.
He's hard to get a read on. He's very placid, is Steve. He plays the game at the same pace with the same expression on his face. So I was trying to read that ball out his hand and got nothing.
I reckon that's why they call him Rowdy. It's the ironic nickname. Look, unless it's something else. Our special guest who will be joining us soon, he'll know the reason why he's called Rowdy, so we'll probe him a little bit and find out. Nath be just looking to repeat his last bowl.
Yeah, pick up a multiple. Reset. Be interested to see if he changes anything with the...
Great bowl.
Yeah, well done.
2 shots.
Interested to see if he changes the length up. Goes long, goes short. Steve's sort of playing that mid-tee to mid-line and mid-line stuff.
It's 2.
Yeah,
Makes the score 7-3.
Nate's put the mat towards the back end of the line, towards the tee. And he's going, yeah.
Score next door in the ladies singles final is 3-0 in favour of Bendigo Campaspi's Marilyn Stevenson.
Yeah, handy start. Happy with that. See if you can put a second in, put a bit of pressure on, get them singles game, get your lead bowl going, always put your opposition under pressure, and then if they don't come up with a bowl, if you can bang 2 in, you
find
need some damage.
Just the atmosphere is always a little different around singles finals versus team finals.
Yeah.
It's a bit quieter, a bit more intense.
Yeah, another great bowl by Nath.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure, because people on the side they're not asking, there's no one giving clear instructions to players. It is a bit more intense.
It's definitely a different atmosphere. Everyone's watching on intently.
Good effort. Just dropping short.
It's probably a good guide for him with his next bowl potentially, and I reckon that's what Nath will try and change his head up here.
Yeah.
Not far away.
He's going to want to finish off.
Might be a nuisance bowl.
Yeah.
And counts.
Might see a bit of intent from Steve with this bowl. Nothing crazy, but
He'll just switch the back end,
Needs to splash into Summit. I reckon it'd be near enough the first one he's played down this back end.
This way it is anyway. Just lacked a little bit of pace there.
Opportunity now. I mean, the big danger's the sit and stay on the closest and ace bowl, or the jack going back to where Steve's other one is. So, do you think he goes for the cover? I think it's very hard to get down to that blue because of that forehand this way being slightly narrower.
I think he just plays another one on the backhand, try and change it that way.
Mm. Looks good again. If he can find the gap. Ooh.
Less holes now.
Yeah. More positive aggression from Steve. Let's see what result he can get here.
He's not far away. Just got to get down a bit more. Cut one or two out there.
Right, I'm going to go and get some scores in the bowls and can get things organised. But I'm going to tag in the great man, the recent State Fours champion from last night, someone who knows both of these players very well. Probably 100 other things you could say about him as well. It's Mr. Matty Flapper.
Cheers, Jimmy. Score while Jimmy's transitioning out of the chair. And the big fella steps in. He's now 7-4 after 6 ends. And I welcome Matty Flapper.
Joshua, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Very good to be here, mate. Fast becoming the Bruce McAvaney of lawn bowls, you are.
Well, I'm not special. Nah, it's good fun. It's good to be involved. Love the sport. And I reckon we've got a pretty good match lining up here.
What we've seen in preliminary rounds so far, both in great form. Obviously one that's done everything in bowls, pretty much, against someone that's got the potential to do everything in bowls.
Yep. We mentioned before, Flaps, that you have someone who's been probably a conduit in a way between the two, where you've actually represented the state with both of them. A couple of different eras there, yeah.
Yeah, I have. We're not talking ages now, are we?
Nah, definitely not.
No, I debuted in 2001, and straight into a rink where Stevie was leading up. Had the pleasure of following him, which is a pretty easy task, playing second behind Stevie Sullivan. And got to play a few games alongside him, and before he pulled the pin. And then in the last couple of years, Nathan has stepped up and had his opportunity, so it's been good.
You've been watching the game since the start. How have you seen it so far?
Sort of first on it, really. Like the first four ends has been, whoever sort of jumps on it, and it has sort of stayed there. But like Stevie picked up that four, which is probably a loose end on the second end from Nathan, but which has been a difference thus far, isn't it? Obviously 7-4, one loose end, but both players have got their weight now, and I think we're in for a bit of a show, Joshy.
I reckon. It's interesting that Stevie's opting for the narrow hand, or the narrow side of the green, and Nace opting for the wider hand. And for those who are joining us this afternoon and weren't watching our live stream last night, Jimmy did touch on it. Matthew is our reigning State Fours champion. Took home the title last night with his three Ocean Grove teammates in Craig Rippon, Callum Hanna and Mick West. And it was a fantastic game. One of the things I noticed or remember about the game, Matty, was that 2 sevens, one by either side. High scoring affair.
Certainly was. Sort of not what you want to do when you're you've established an early lead, 8-3 or 8-2, whatever it was, after about half a dozen ends. And then we just played a shocker. We didn't put a bowl inside 6 feet, basically, and I managed to draw the first of my skipper's bowls, and then Jay missed. I shanked my second one, and we've got one bowl sitting inside 7. It's not too often that someone of Jay's calibre is going to miss that. It's sticking out like a beach ball. And all of a sudden, yeah, we're 2 down on the card. We drop a 7. So I wasn't overly pleased with that end.
As Nath gets a little turn off his own. Good bowl. Happens to be 1 down still. Your bowls do look like beach bowls, Matt.
Yeah, well, maybe. And especially when they're surrounded by 7 opposition bowls, they probably do stand out a little bit further. But, Jay played a great shot, made the 7. It swung the game big time. And then obviously we were chasing the tail then for the next 4 or 5 ends before finally we got our opportunity to make the score, and yeah, luckily it come off.
You're very humble because you played an amazing bowl yourself to get that 7, so it was, nice little shot there.
Well, I just said to the boys with 4 ends to go, look, if we're going to be any chance, we've got to stop chasing the shot too early and just build as much pressure around the head as we can, and if we get an opportunity to turn a head into a multiple, but it's not going to happen if we're just trying to chase the shot all the time. So luckily, clearly our best end of the 18 that we played, I think, and surrounded a few around the jack and got that opportunity to sort of attack with a couple of feet of weight to move 2 bowls, and unfortunate for us that Jay was just wide with his last draw shot and changed the complete game.
See a bit of aggression here from Nath.
Stevie holding a good 2.
He's found the hole, unfortunately.
Just probably wanted to be on the high side there, Josh. You get that short bowl through the jack, or just tight of the line he wanted.
Yep. Now, I mentioned before, everyone was saying, "Come on, Rowdy!" On the people watching at home. Is the nickname ironic because he's reasonably quiet?
I think that's the only reason he's got it.
Yep. Just double checking.
No, he is. He doesn't say much. But the thing about Stevie is, obviously, when he does speak, people listen. So he's pretty quiet. Just goes about his business and gets the job done time and time again. But yeah, he's one of those guys that when he does speak, though, he certainly grabs the attention of those listening.
9-4 he now leads after 7 ends. And we have the Bowls Victoria Awards night this evening. And you are nominated for an award tonight, Matty?
I am. I will be attending. So it should be a good night.
It's our first awards night since amalgamation. It was postponed 12 months ago, and I do recall an RVBA having an awards night or an awards day back in the day, but we haven't had one for a while.
No, it has been, and it's great that it's come back too. I think it's what a perfect opportunity to celebrate the successes of the year, and in this case, obviously a couple of years, but generally it'll be a 12-month gig, and then everyone comes together, and what a perfect time to have it during Champions Week too. So majority of the players are up here competing and attend an awards night, and for those lucky enough to walk away with some silverware, good luck to all. I remember back in the day, I think it was early 2000s, I reckon. Used to win a state title and then you go to a presentation dinner in Melbourne somewhere.
Yep.
But, I went to one of them once, I think.
Adam Ellington's just commented, great to hear Matty Flapper on commentary, and this time not copping stick from Scotty Thelburn.
Yeah, he can stay in Adelaide, Adam. No, it was all good fun. He been good mates for a long time, young Scotty and myself, and a bit of banter, and He actually came up to me the next day after that and he said, "Oh, mate," he said, "I'm really sorry." He said, "I hope it wasn't too bad." I said, "Oh, it made for interesting listening anyway." So
He was actually on fire that night.
he was. Yeah, he was charged.
Stevie currently holding one at this stage. It's nearly one of the loosest heads they've had since they've started this match. Over on the rink 2 doors away, Marilyn Stevenson currently leading 6-0 against Judy Nardella from Metro West. As Nathan Murray comes down here and probably drawn shot. This one's not far away either.
He's a class act, the little man.
I didn't find out what year, but he's already won one of these ones, and he's already also won a Champion of Champions as well.
So I think we'll find it was about 1996. I think he won his state singles.
Yep.
And about 98 or 99, something like that, he got the Champion of Champions too. And it wasn't far off that when he was a runner-up as well. So state Champion of Champions, state singles, and one runners-up in the Champion of Champions.
I think the other thing, I asked him how many early shields, and he said 4, and he was pretty proud of when he said that one too. I think most of the Vics guys are, when they can acknowledge that they've won an early shield or two.
It's there's no better event to be part of than the Early Shield, and certainly as a state representative, that's what you look forward to every year. All the states and territories come together and battle it out. So went for a long time Victoria without the success of coming away with the title, but many sort of runners-ups. But Stevie based 4. That's pretty impressive.
To Stevie there, takes the score now at 11-4 after 8 ends. Steve Pavinas has asked me a question, which actually was going to lead me into what I was going to ask you anyway. You're also in the pairs with Peter Lowe, Ocean Grove. But you've also had some Sydney pennant commitments lately, playing on the weekends. What's the latest there?
I don't know what's going on this time of year, but the calendar's just jam-packed and things falling on top of other events. And
I thought you retired.
I had retired. Actually, someone that I live with said the same thing, Josh. Thought you retired. And then you haven't sort of been home for the last 10 days and then another few days ahead. But yeah, so up here in Bendigo, played the Fours. Obviously got the awards night tonight. Jump on a plane tomorrow morning, hopefully all going well. And head to Belrose. So playing a few games of pennant, Sydney, New South Wales pennant for Belrose Bowls Club. And play Cabramatta tomorrow night, so Friday night, and then front up again at Belrose on Saturday morning, play against St John's Park.
So the 2 big Sydney clubs?
Yeah, you probably can't get much of a bigger weekend than that, mate. And then jump back on the plane Saturday night, fly back here, and ready for an 8:30 kickoff with Lowy on Sunday morning. So there's a bit going on.
Frequent flyer points are up.
Let's just hope travel restrictions stay as they are and we're allowed to get in and, more importantly, probably get back.
Yeah, we're going all right down here at the moment in Vic, but a couple of the other states have had some scares lately. Stevie draws another one underneath his own.
It's fair to say a must-win end for Nathan this end, Josh. 11-4. Ascendancy, clearly, Stevie has just found his range those last 3 or 4 ends, and he's just put Nathan under the hammer, but he's got to step up and respond.
Whilst Nate hasn't got shot at the moment, his bowls aren't in a bad spot. And I reckon, obviously, Steve switching the forehand to maybe cover those bowls or turn the jack himself and try and take that shot away.
Well, there's an opportunity.
Attack time?
Well, 2 choices, isn't it? Do we attack or do we just try and trail that, keep his bowls in the game? Yeah, he's picked the option, forehand. Any touch on the jack and...
Don't think he's there, Matty.
I probably would have played backhand myself, Josh, I reckon. With a little bit more weight than what Nathan played. There's still an option to get the split and run through the jack.
Yep. Again, I reckon Steve would be happy if he can hide it here himself. Otherwise, getting to the closest back bowler, Nath.
Yeah, he's added some here. Yeah, well played.
Big bowler here from Nath.
You got the legs?
I'm not sure he has.
He
Might make a lie out of me yet.
I'd be disappointed with that.
Looks like he cuts one out. To Steve. Takes the score to 13-4.
Probably sense a little bit of tentative at the moment. Nathan, I thought he could have been a bit more aggressive there, just to make sure he was turning through the bowls. Obviously down 1 or 2 on the head, and 2 catches ready. But probably the chance there to attack the head, but just backed himself to draw, which kudos to him. He's a good draw player and he's been playing very well. But just when things aren't going your way, 7 or 8 behind on the scoreboard, you just got to change your tactic a little bit.
Score update in the ladies' final. It's currently Marilyn Stevenson from Bendigo Campaspe 8 versus Judy Nardella 1 from Metro West. How have you found the green so far, Matty?
We played on the top green the first 2 games of 4s, and obviously we played a morning game and then a late afternoon game. So the rain that fell in the morning of our first game,
yes,
we had a slightly delayed start. The green was underwater, but amazingly, we get on the green, we chuck our bowls in the roll-up, and they're all going 8-10 feet past the jack, and it's like, what's going on here? If we rock up at Ocean Grove and the green's underwater, we go home. But the green's running still 13.5, probably almost 14 seconds after it's been underwater. An amazing turnaround. So the green, the top green, Mr. Tompkins done a great job there to get play underway, and no complaints with the surface. And then we come back in the afternoon and 4 o'clock start, so you probably go through that transition of getting cooler, darker, lights come on, so it drops a little bit, line changes a little bit, but you still got playing surfaces here that are very playable and you can play all the shots.
Stevie corrected from his first to his second. He's sort of honing in here. His worst bowls aren't that far away, and he's found his range the last 3 or 4 ends. And probably adds a second here as well. I see the new Victorian there walking by on our screen.
Yeah.
The new Moama Bowls coordinator, Kevy Anderson.
Kevy. Come down to cheer on
Marilyn
in the final. And she's obviously off to a great start thus far.
If 96 was the year that Stevie won the singles, that's the only one he won, he'd be going close to a record of maybe the biggest gaps between wins. That's coming up, 25 years?
Would be too. It's remarkable, isn't it?
Oh, well, that's what they were talking about down at Warrnambool in the year when Johnny Snell was there playing and he was in the Champions. And if he'd happened to go through, it would have been a very large gap between his 2 wins. Not that he's only won 1, but the last of that one. Another good bowl there by Steve.
Well, obviously I had the pleasure of playing alongside Stevie and more so against Stevie numerous times, since especially since I've been down in Geelong. And any time, obviously, as a state representative, I've ever been asked a question, you know, oh, who do you want in your rink? What's your thoughts on your state team and whatnot? Whether they've been available, retired or whatnot, I've always said Steve Sullivan and Ken Thomas. They can be my front two any day of the week. But,
The Moose.
The Moose.
Still to this day, the best bowl I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was mentioned last night, actually, after the Force final, and someone said, oh, that's up there with Kenny Thomas's bowl, I reckon. I said, oh, I don't know about that. That was a classic.
I was lucky enough to be playing that day. I remember my range of emotions in about 5 seconds went from, yeah, he's going to get third shot, which means we're going to go for an extra end, to, oh no, he's going into the pit, to, oh no, he's drawn a shot and we won the game.
Not sure Steve Sullivan, not sure Ken Thomas has ever got higher off the ground. When that bowl come to rest and he's launched himself halfway in the middle of the green.
Another 3 there to Stevie. He's in some very good form here at the moment. Takes a score 16-4 after 10 ends.
What do you do, Josh? What do you do if you're Nathan?
Well, I think you touched on it before, Matty, where maybe when he gets an opportunity now, maybe to attack a little bit, because look, it appears the draw's not working for him at this stage, you know. And so be a bit aggressive.
He's got to change something, doesn't he?
Yep.
Just the dynamic. Stevie's he's got his range. He's never going to be far away from it. And
even potentially playing the hand that Steve's playing, and maybe if he's dropping short, getting in his eye a little bit, change him up a little bit, get him off his rhythm.
And as we know, it only takes one shot. One shot can change things, get your confidence up. And at the moment, I think that's the crucial thing for Nathan here, that he's got to do something that's just gets him going.
Yep. Plays a great starter there.
I'm sure you touched on it prior to my arrival here in commentary, mate, but 316 games as a state representative.
So that's how many it was. I said north of 300. I knew it was over 300.
It's an amazing effort. 316 games and probably 300, well, I'll run with it, 316 all leading for the same person, which is remarkable.
Is it really that?
I believe it is.
All leading for the one bloke?
I think so.
MJ?
MJ.
Yeah. Yeah, he wouldn't get rid of a good lead, would he?
Must be doing something right.
Nathan currently holding 2 here. Stevie be looking probably just to try and turn his over or just underneath. He's playing the weight to do that.
Well, here's his chance.
Yes.
Holding a good 2, first 2 bowls, but certainly make this into a 3 and put the pressure back on Stevie for his 4th bowl. Make him play the shot. You know, he's been just playing the draw shots and playing them well. We saw him play some cracking conversion shots against Reece Jeffs this morning.
Yes.
Reece certainly didn't do a lot wrong, but Stevie just did it much better. And a couple of times Reece was coming at him, and Stevie just said, no, I don't want to borrow that. Just a nice little runner, trails for 2s and 3s, and just the shots that break your heart.
He's a lot closer. He might get on to Nate's last one to rock his own over. He may have made shot there. Yes, he has.
It's a perfect way just to turn the short bowl in. Immediately just puts the pressure back on Nathan.
And funny enough, they're all lined up and not necessarily a big target for him if he wanted to play any big conversion. I was about to say, when you talk about Reece and Steve's game, there was one stage there I saw Reece hand his bowl to Steve and say, would you play mine, please?
Yeah. I think there's about 4 bowls inside 3 inches on that particular end. And Stevie just trickled down, sat Reece off the jack for 2, which ended up Reece killed the end. But, yeah, just
It's a very big bowl here. He's probably got that little wall there. If he happens to be tight, he could maybe screw off one of those
Somewhere
blues.
where he needs to be, ideally.
Yeah, great bowl.
Well, that's it. He's on the board again and in control. So
I nearly forgot about the
conversion
blue
play.
bowl of Stevie's back there for half a
Yeah,
second.
there was one sitting back there. So the weight he played was crucial.
Going for the measure for the second. Now you're, what's the right word here, Matthew? Probably most times when you play bowls, you generally are a skipper. But in the pairs this week, you're leading. How'd that come about?
I am. But my skipper, he's not happy, Josh, because no matter what team we've submitted, what scorecard we've written the team on over the journey thus far, it's still got me in the program of skipping, and he's not happy about it. He's, mate, what do I got to do? What do I got to do to get Ness next to my name? But no, just obviously played a lot of bowls with Pete over the years, and great mates. And I know what sort of player he is. So I was like, well, for something different, all right, we're going to mix it up. I'm going to lead. You jump up the other end, and we'll see how it goes. Well, thus far, it's gone okay. I'm not going to put the moz on it, but he actually made a speech when we won the region title, and he's led a lot. He's led a lot of games for me over the years, and he's pretty good with a jack in his hand. But he made a comment after the final win in Geelong, and he said, "I didn't ever think I'd see anyone better throwing a jack than what Matty did." So I got some pressure on me this week, come Sunday morning.
So a bit of a tactic change here too. Nath's gone basically ditch to ditch.
But I've always said, mate, I will happily lead up for anyone if you're leading and you're part of a good side. It's win-win. And he's a quality player, and I'm more than happy to watch him strut his stuff from the other end.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I've been lucky to lead for some good bowls in my day, and I thoroughly enjoy doing that job.
Yeah, great shot from Nathan. As you said, change your length, stretched it right out, and uncharacteristically, first bowl from Stevie, a little bit overs in the pit.
I was going to say, this bowl might be a sign of how well he's going, because if he corrects super well with his first to the second, we know he's...
There's a few locals up here looking forward to seeing Mr. Lowe turn up on Sunday. Joshy, he's obviously played here for a number of years prior to his days at Essendon, and then once they got wind of Pete's coming back up, they're pretty excited to see him. So
he was here at Bendigo East and also a stint at Strathfield. So
terrific shot.
Great bowl by Nathan. He's just got to skirt past his first one in eighths. First real good opportunity potentially for Nathan.
Just can manage to get a turn out of his shot bowl and lay it down. It's going to tidy up the target, take the sitting little trail away. He's got the legs. He's going to count. No, just fading under.
Steve's still got a chance here. I reckon he'll play similar weight to his last.
That's it. Sit and stay. Little trail off the bowl. Doesn't like it.
No. And that's a 3 to Nathan Murray, which takes the score now to 16-8 after 12. And a score update, a couple rinks over in the ladies singles final. Marilyn Stevenson is leading 8-5 over Judy Nardella.
It's tightened up a little bit too. Last couple of ends to Judy.
Opts for the ditch-to-ditch strategy again.
Yeah, we needed to change his tactic, and it worked. It paid dividends, and he played 2 great opening bowls there to put the pressure back onto Stevie. So probably as good a conditions right now, Josh, as we've had in the first couple of days of the event.
I reckon it was about this time, probably the first night. I was looking for every layer of clothing I could put on.
Well, we were out there on that top green until about 7:30 on that first night, and I'm not sure. It was probably every bit as cold as I've ever been on a bowls green. It was fresh.
It's pretty fresh. I still remember we had the live stream match of Kylie Whitehead from Almonds and Murray versus Lisa Phillips, and Kylie was basically doing star jumps and running on the spots just to try and keep warm. Anne Draffin was just looking for a score. Currently Marilyn Stevenson is leading 8-5 over Judy Nardella. We'll keep you posted throughout the match. The last thing,
Pretty good track.
Yeah, I was going to say the last thing Nath wants to do is probably drop a number back after getting 4 in the last couple ends.
Just things aren't going your way. You just got to set yourself a couple of mini goals and just try and chip away to get back in the game. And obviously he went T to T and it worked. But no, now on 8 behind, just get to 10, 2 or 3 ends in a row, and just changing things that changes the momentum of the game. Disappointed with his last bowl, he chance to reach there. I think, Joshy, one thing on Stevie, I reckon it's fantastic now that they have the opportunity at over 60 level to represent your country. For a player that has been so consistent and just dominant in every sort of aspect of the game as Stevie has over the years. He's probably stiff, not back in the day to get a Guernsey wearing green and gold when he was at his, say now he's still as good as what he has been, but when he was in his prime, I would say, probably stiff not to get that Guernsey, but obviously that opportunity came for him a couple of years ago now as an over 60 representative, which I think was fantastic to see and just reward for effort over a long period of time. What a terrific shot.
Nath. He really needed that bowl. Fantastic.
What a brilliant conversion shot. I think was
we touched on it at the start.
Fantastic to see and just reward for effort over a long period of time. What a terrific shot.
The squad hasn't really changed. They really needed since COVID to actually go out and play again, but I would figure he would be part of that reactivation camp that's going to happen in July, where all the squads are getting back together for the first time since COVID.
Just a little high for the last bowl. Just didn't get down. So where we see it, a little bit of a swing now. 2 ends in a row. Back to back, or 3 ends in a row rather. Back to back.
Two it is. Score now 16-10 after 13 ends.
Cast my eye practicing up there on the top green. Just arrived. Better go and say hello to them very shortly, Joshy.
Is that your Ocean Grove teammates, Matty?
That is the current Victorian Ladies Triples champions.
Oh, that's right.
Up there.
Yes. They're going for back to back.
They are going for back to back.
Under your great coaching and tutelage.
I'll take all the credit too, mate. No, they're a team of 3 players that just love playing together. They get results. They just enjoy each other's company and just. I think they went to Warrnambool in January with under no illusion that they were going to come away with a gold medal. That's for sure, and defied the odds.
I remember the joy when they won too.
It was an amazing performance. I'm not sure, even after that event had finished. I'm not sure it had sunk in as to what had just happened for them, but they certainly celebrated pretty hard, as you would.
Well, I dare say you probably had a couple last night.
Yes,
The boys with you.
a couple of just, I don't know, anything they wanted to pour. I think the table looked like a Smartie box at one stage. Different colours of everything.
Stevie switched the backhand. Been a bit of a momentum shift here. He's won the last 3 ends. And Steve's a little off this end as well, so he's got chances.
And it's little things, isn't it? Now we said something just had to change, and you can see automatically that in Nathan's body language, and he's just become that up and about now, and he's gained his confidence.
Steve needs to hang a little longer. Marker indicate 1 there before, didn't he?
1 to Nathan, yep.
Yeah. He's probably weighing up here, whether he's adding another or he's looking for some coverage. Because the jack's loaded where it might head out to where Stevie's bowls are.
I think I'd probably swap Josh. I'd try and get inside the 2 blues. If he plays the right weight on the forehand, he's always a chance to turn his front one in for a count. But I think at this stage he's got to try and get to the 2 blues, beat them. Any contact on the shot bowl for Stevie Sullivan now heads out to those 2 blues, so
Yep.
protect what you got.
Well, you've predicted right. Switch it over. If he's underneath his own, he's half a chance of coming up and counting.
Although he's only 1 down, this is a massive shot in the context of the game. Any touch on the shot bowl, Steve will score.
He's a bit firmer too. close. One still, Matt, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Just he got the wrong angle on the bowl he turned up to count. Yep, one more to Nathan Murray.
Takes the score to 16-11 after 14 ends.
And our ladies' final is tightened right up now, with only one the difference. Judy Nardella trailing 7-8. Marilyn Stevenson.
Judy has played in every session, bar one, which was the falls final last night. So the little slower start. You wouldn't blame her for the amount of bowls she's played. She probably just needed a bit of warming up again. And
yeah, she'll sleep well tonight, won't she? You'd reckon. Certainly got a feel for the greens anyway.
Yes.
And on cue too, front toucher from Judy.
Started there by Nath. I reckon we've got a few extras here tonight too because of the awards night, Maddie. There's a few people coming in, watching. And I reckon they're probably going to watch the end of this and then get themselves all ready for this evening.
Yeah, I think you might be right, mate. There's a few scattered around the greens. It's not a bad crowd. Quite pleasant out here too, which we spoke about a little bit before. Was probably the best weather we've had so far. So it's... Hence people are outside, so I think a couple of nights ago they were running for cover.
Exactly.
The live stream was pretty popular inside the clubhouse.
What's Stephen's second shot bowl? Yep. What's that in relation to Jack Lee? Step far behind. Thank you.
The change in momentum, Josh, has certainly swung, hasn't it?
Yeah, the longer ends has definitely favoured Nath since he's opted for him, and he's holding to at this stage. And it was probably the one end where Stevie actually had a few there, and then Nath played a brilliant last bowl. And Steve would be hoping to get shot back in the next end or so, just to try and gain some momentum back his way.
It's not going to get back. Just looking to sit the bowl, trail. Got the catcher there, trail for two.
Yep.
Perfect weight for the shot.
And what's on the horizon, Maddie? Obviously, we touched on going to Sydney, playing a bit of pen up there. Anything else on the radar for yourself?
No, this event plus 2 more weeks of Sydney pennant, so short and sharp up there. 11 games in 6 weeks. That's their pennant season done and dusted. And then obviously for the lucky ones that get through to state finals. So hopefully we can be part of that. But after state championship week wraps up, I think the bowls might go in the cupboard for a few weeks, and yeah, do the right thing at home, Josh, and spend some time with the wife, mate. So I think she might be looking forward to having me home. But,
I'm not sure I've been as away as much as you, but I definitely know how you feel.
Yeah.
I reckon Stevie's cut one out there. It's probably still 2 to Nath. Mark has got 2 paddles ready to go behind his back, so that would indicate he thinks it's 2.
So you have a bit of a break, a few weeks off, and then we've got some trials coming up end of May. So a new initiative again from Bowls Victoria, which I think is fantastic.
I think the formal announcement will be very, very soon. I think they might be announcing the squads in the next day or so, Matty.
Yeah, that'd be good. Be good to see the list of players for the city versus country.
Yeah, new concept for the state trials, for the open state sides. Be 16 ladies versus 16 ladies one weekend here in Bendigo. And then the following weekend will be 24 country men versus 24 city men vying to make the Victorian stateside.
I think it's a great initiative, mate, and if you can bring a competitive aspect to your state trials, I think the players are going to embrace it a lot better than what they probably have in the past, where you just select your teams of 4, just go out, play basically round robin. Some players, and I'm probably guilty of it too, some players just go through the motions, but I think the whole new aspect where you actually got something to play for, I think that's going to bring out a lot in players and the performances, and just seeing what else they can bring to the game in that competitive environment. We always talk about people that go to trials and treat it like you're playing pennant. They bring that passion and that excitement to it, but sometimes when you get to trials, it's not there. So I think this will add a different aspect and a great move, I feel.
And there's just a natural rivalry anyway, I think, between city and country. Country bowlers tend to feel like they don't get looked at, and city probably feel like they get treated differently as well themselves, so there'll be a healthy rivalry there, I feel.
For sure.
Score was 16-4, 16-5 at one stage.
Yep.
It's definitely tightened up.
So we talked about earlier, mate, what Nathan had to do to get himself in the game and to get on the scoreboard and, change the swing of the game. And he's certainly done that. Obviously, that's 4 or 5 ends in a row now. So what do we got to do? What does Stevie got to do?
Well, probably on the same theme. One, he probably needs to get shot. If he gets an opportunity to maybe a bit more attacking than normal, maybe try and change it up.
So it's basically role reverse, isn't it?
Yep. And I would feel, obviously he's such a good draw bowler, he would back himself to nail one at some stage here very shortly. And if he does, he'll look to go back to the length he was playing early and start trying to control the game from his end.
A rarity there.
Yeah.
Too often you'd see
2 bowls.
Little Rowdy drop 2 in the pit. Be very disappointed with that, but one still in his hand makes him dangerous.
It's Nath Dewey.
He's just backing himself to draw another shot. Really apply the pressure. He's got a chance here that if he adds here, he can all of a sudden he's tied on the scoreboard or possibly a nose in front. He's played it well. Right in the line of the jack, which stops Stevie playing the trail for 2. Sort of has to play a bit more forceful to turn through the bowls now.
Yeah, we'll get the split. Here's an opportunity. Glenn Windles just asks what make of the bowls are the boys using. Steve Bowles seem to turn more. Yes, well, he's using a Dreamline.
They are XGs.
Steve's?
Yes.
They are XGs,
Yep.
there you go. I thought his was just Dreamlines and Nace were Dreamline XGs, but they're both XGs, I've been informed. Thank you, Matthew. For the scores next door, the scoreboard hasn't been updated yet. It would appear that Judy would have won the last end based on control of the match he has. So we will update you when we can.
Just going to slip under.
Yep.
Wow.
The game has swung. Assume that's 4. Three's taken out so far.
And it is the full count to Nathan Murray. So we have a new leader.
17-16 after 16 ends.
The funny thing about our game, Josh, we wouldn't have picked this 5 ends ago. But as we said, things can change very quickly. It's a confidence game.
Yeah, and just looking at the scorecard, they sort of, it's gone in some blocks here at different stages outside that first end. Stevie won 3 in a row, Nath won 2 in a row, then Steve went on his little roll to get 4 ends in a row, and now Nath's gone 6 ends in a row, so.
And a great first bowl again. I'll back him in. I'll back him in to respond.
The way he's played this last couple of days, you would tend to go with that. I mean,
Absolutely, be a brave man to ride him off.
the game he played yesterday against Chris Philpott in the
There you go.
quarter final. Look
Great
at that.
response, Stevie Sullivan.
He was, I reckon, 10-0 down at one stage in that match, and Chris Philpott was walking on water, and next minute, slowly, Stevie keeps creeping back, and then got him at the end. So there's no doubt he has the capabilities of changing momentum.
He never changes. He never changes in his body language and his
No.
demeanour. He's just whether he's 10 in front, 10 behind, it's just back himself to draw the shot, basically.
Nace very close with his second here. So the table you're on tonight, Matty, is it a Ocean Grove table? Is it a, well, where you're sitting and base tonight?
No, I have no idea,
No,
mate.
you don't?
I could be sitting next to you.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I have no idea. I could take a punt and say that given the award that I'm nominated for, which was my role with the under-18s as their coach, there is an under-18 player of the year for both boys and girls.
Nathan plays a
So-
great role there. You reckon he might be
So it could be all on one table.
king
I
of the
reckon,
kids again?
potentially.
Carol Fairs asks for the score next door. Yes, they finally ticked the scoreboard over for us. And Judy Nardell has hit the front. She's 9-8 in front against Marilyn Stevenson. It's a little porty for Steve. If you can get down to it.
Just going to hold wide unless he clips.
That works.
Unless he clips that wing bowl.
Nathan won't be too dissimilar to his last.
Yeah, similar shot to what Steve played.
Yep.
Oh,
Well, that works too. And Nathan's got shot out of that.
fortunate result, but he was in the area. He had to wait to get the result, so he wasn't far off the mark. Just slipped off the front roll, and
Stevie's a little wide here. We'll wait for the confirmation, but appears to be one.
yes, one further to Nathan Murray. Heads out to an 18-16 lead.
Talk about trying to change the game up now. If Stevie's not naturally an aggressive person, from what I can gather and what I've seen over the years, is predominantly a very good draw bowler. Would it be in his nature to potentially play with some positivity early?
Oh, I think, yeah, potentially. Like, the thing with Stevie, he'll always back himself to draw the shot. If he's got an inch or 2 feet, he'll back himself in. But it could be just a simple little thing like Nathan's pulled up 3 foot short with his first bowl. The last 2 or 3 ends he's been nailing his first one, so Stevie will be looking to capitalise on that and put the pressure back straight back onto Nathan. But certainly this direction, he struggled the last couple of ends with the longer end. But not far off the mark. But I certainly think, obviously attacking, Stevie can play the runners as good as anyone, but I'm not sure he's the sort of player that's going to bring the mat up and sink the jack, Josh. But
well, that's I wasn't inferring that sort of style. There's a few blokes I know who tried that.
Yep.
Former Victorian Disco Wilson would probably have a crack at that.
Yeah, no doubt. Any chance he gets, he has a go at that. Former Victorian, you reckon?
Well, as far as I'm aware, I'm not sure the clearance has technically come in yet.
We're claiming him.
Yeah, well,
We're claiming him, so he's back. The Victorian has returned.
Your teammate in the BPL.
Yep. No, he'll certainly be a welcome addition if that bit of paperwork does come through. We'd love to have him back.
We have another Victorian back in the state now too.
Yeah, they're all coming back, mate.
They know the grass is always greener back where they come from.
So referring to Mark Casey and his appointment as the bowls operations manager at Deer Park. Great coup for Deer Park to get Mark on board.
Maybe there's a chance of getting him back in the big V too.
Well, if he comes back and he's playing a fair bit more bowls, Josh, it's probably going to be to our benefit that he might get the hunger and the taste back to put on the big V shirt again. Yeah, I think he's probably been, the last few years, certainly doesn't play anywhere near as much as he did. But obviously in this new role, that might free up a bit more time that he's got on the green, and hopefully, if he can come back in the ranks, it would be good.
Nath looking to try and maybe just tuck the jack around the corner. Set the blue bowl, Steves.
Yeah, that's the object. Try and get to the blue. You do touch it, bonus. But can tidy it right up. Obviously Steve with 3 back bowls. And executes for a 3. Well, we've got an opportunity, Stevie. 3 catches, chance to reach. So you talked about that aggressive change. So this is the chance that he's got. It's a bit high out of the hand. Probably thought he might have played a little bit more than that, Josh.
Yeah.
Just sort of battling those last 3 or 4 ends for his feel. He's just sort of lost his touch a little bit. But in saying that, Nathan's certainly picked up his game.
He's been fantastic the last, what do we got here? 8 ends in a row now he's won.
A fair bit of character in that too. He's obviously trailing 16, we said 16-4 or 5, whatever it was. And, you know, you can look at it both ways, can't you, when you're in that situation?
I reckon there'd be plenty of blokes, bowlers, who might just throw the white flag out there in that situation. But as long as it's a great thing about the first to 25 is as long as they're not there, you're still in the game.
That's it. We've all been in games where we've come from well behind, we've been in front, and our opposition have caught up and so forth. But that's it. It's not over till you score that 25th.
The other factor to consider now is that now that Nathan has got to 21, he can actually go out with a good end. It's a better start for Steve. Sorry.
Go for it, mate. I was about to say what I was going to say anyway. Go for it.
Score next door is 9-8. Score hasn't been updated since Maryland won the last end, and she's currently holding 3 next door at stage 2.
Yeah, another great draw shot from Nathan. Just applies the pressure back to Steve now. Doesn't have to do much to correct from his first bowl. Plays a similar shot, little touch. Touch for 2.
Nath be looking probably just to pass his last, get to his own.
Yeah, that's well played. Immediately changes the dynamic of the end now. Steve was obviously a chance to just trail a jack on the backhand for 2, but by turning the front bowl, and he's just eliminated those 2 back bowls really.
And even opens up an opportunity for himself to turn the jack around the corner. Not if Stevie does it first, though.
Wonderful shot.
Great
shot, Steve.
Probably be an understatement to say that he needed that.
Yeah, fair call. He needed that, but he needs to hang on to that. So Nathan looking for the coach's advice.
Looking at the screen, and look, we're not obviously right over the head, looking at potentially the gaps between the shot bowl and the jack. To me, there's an option on the forehand to get the outside of the blue bowl. You could poke it through the hole, maybe a little bit of jack movement, which means you've got a back bowl there just to protect you. But if you get it nice, you could make 2. 2 straight, though, would probably turn Stevie over 2 or 3 times, and he might go 2 down instead of 1.
So would you look at potentially a backhand as an option? Flip his
own bowl over.
Second shot, flip it over. If you get to the split, you might roll it out underneath the head.
Yep. There's that option as well.
Certainly played the forehand going down this side very well, so it'll be interesting to see what he chooses.
Some positivity. He's playing the tight hand. It's very
Some
close.
connection.
Very close to the split. It's a great bowl. Mark
So
Lee
he's
Wesley.
converted. So it's basically got the result that you probably called on the forehand, but he got it on the backhand, mate.
Yeah, it means I got no idea, doesn't it, Matty? Oh, great bowl.
Well done, Steve Sullivan. Well, he's back on the board. So he'll breathe a sigh of relief now. But I don't think we'll be playing T to T, Josh.
No. Well, Matt's coming up. Maybe he will do a Disco Wilson.
I'll be very, very surprised, mate.
21-17 after 19 ends. I will give you a score next door in a second. I'm just waiting to cite the scoreboard. Nice looking at the jack length here. So the score next door is 12-9 in favour of Marilyn Stevenson from Bendigo Campaspe against Judy Nardella. Well, Steve's found his length, Matty. Straight up.
Straight on. What a terrific opener. And you know, that's a replica of what we saw earlier. As soon as Nathan got the mat, went long, first bowl, bang on it.
It's funny how rolling that white little thing sometimes can really help with your weight control. Something I was taught early days is that if you learn how to lead pretty well and you learn to roll the jack, then it will also set up your weight when you're playing singles.
How does that go when you play on synthetic surfaces, mate, when you've got varying weights of jacks?
Well, that was
Does that
probably...
alter? And I need to ask you this because, you know, clearly majority of my bowls is normally skipping, so not often I'm throwing a jack.
Yep.
So I don't get to experience that much.
No, that was probably my next little wrinkle in my statement. Was going to be when you do play on carpet, you tend to either use a heavier jack and/or it moves differently across the synthetic surface. That great hit bowl by Nathan here.
What a great shot.
That same theory probably doesn't apply when you're playing on a synthetic surface. Maybe there's someone out there at home who might want to invent a jack that's going to replicate your speed for that surface. Stevie Sullivan.
Have a look at this for an answer. What a great shot from Nathan Murray, and then a response from Steve Sullivan.
Good sportsmanship there by Nathan, sort of tapping his side of his leg, acknowledging the good bowl.
These are the bowls we expect from these two.
The lights are on here at Bendigo East.
Just dropped a couple of degrees too, Josh. I reckon the green might have maybe just pulled up a
Yard?
Yeah, I was going to say a second, yep.
Great bowl. It's possibly 3. Does Naif try and play the sort of the perfect little trail?
2 and a measure, the marker's indicated. I think he will. I think he'll back himself there on the back end. You know, a couple of chances there. Sit the bowl if he does get a piece of the jack. He's got the catcher in waiting. Saying that too, he's sort of looking that there might be an option on the forehand too through the blues.
Yeah, if he gets probably inside edge, or even he's even looking at outside edge there with his feet. Some contact there, he's probably taken 2 out, and if he gets inside edge, he might get across to the other one as well.
Even rough chance here, all 3 could go. And,
even if he got his
lead the
own,
jack.
he could still potentially cause some damage there.
It is a forehand option he's choosing, so expect some weight. Big weight. Oh, wow.
Oh,
There you go. There's a forehand option.
Probably
He's
weren't-
just said short bowls are back. Some weight.
we weren't predicting that one.
We did not predict that. Big weight.
Well, the nearly the closest, the second closest bowl of Steve's was one that actually come forward. 21-19. Nathan would probably be feeling a little unlucky there. He did everything right to kill the end. And
Yeah, well, he executed perfectly. Hit the target. He showed us where he put his foot. And he wanted to hit it perfectly, but obviously once you hit it, sometimes it's a lap of the gods as to where it ends up. But in this case, it was to Steve's advantage. So, and it wasn't really that he had the short bowls.
no.
Maybe I should have tried that last night with a few. Joshy trying to get the jack forward.
Well,
Little cheeky
I
dig at
was
Mick-
going to
cheeky
say
dig at Mickey
you would have
Westy.
helped Westy out then, wouldn't you?
I would have scored the end, I reckon. Hey, Mickey boy.
He's probably home listening.
He said to me last night, he goes, mate, he said, I might have been short, he said, but I was never in your way because I was always on the centre line.
Always looking at a positive. I was saying this last night. I was lucky enough to. Wasn't a very long stint at Geelong West. It was a total of 5 games where I played with Mick, and we've sort of become mates from afar over the years, as you do in the bowling circles. And he was chatting to me Monday night. He goes, Joshy, I've won a state pennant, and the only thing I want to bloody win is a state fours, So we keep getting close, So, well, he's done it.
He has done it. I had this discussion with a couple of people before, and when you talk about you're away from home and you're playing so many days in a row and whatnot, you sort of question at times, whether to continue sort of having a crack at state events, and they are a big commitment if you're playing all of them, and once you start at region level, to then potentially hope to get to state level and whatnot. But from my perspective, last night playing alongside the 3 blokes that I played with, for them to have success in their first state title, and the emotion that they showed at the completion of the game, that just that's why we do it. Just to see how overjoyed they were was an amazing feeling.
Great bowl here by Stevie. Yeah, you could see that elation last night, which was fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm sure on the other hand too, obviously the game, the way it swung for Jay's team as well, that there would have been 2 or 3 in that team that, same boat, that Jay was obviously at the helm of. Good shot, Nathan, just turning his short one in. Jay was at the helm of 3 blokes that were, in a similar boat, that
Trying to get there first.
trying to get their first state title. So, and they probably had a firm grip on the thing too, mate. So, but we say how quick things can swing in this game.
Stevie is just dropped short. Yeah, that game definitely ebbed and flowed, there's no doubt. It was great to watch. Nathan's holding one. He's got a chance to add another. Getting awfully close to that score of 25, which he's playing to. He's got the room to do it too.
It's not far away.
He doesn't want to move the jack. It's all right. 1 to Nath. Takes the score to 22-19. And we've played 21 ends. Not that the ends count for anything in a game of singles like this, but just gives those who are watching at home an idea of how long this game's going for. You see our illustrious Bowls Victorian president standing there in the background of the screen there for a second, Peter Ingles.
I did. Standing up against the shed.
Keen observer.
He told me he was going to sing a song tonight at the awards night.
Did he really?
He did.
Well, we'll have to remind him if he's forgotten.
Believe that when I see it.
Straight back to the long ends. And he hasn't started too bad either.
There you go, first bowl again. Just setting the pressure straight back onto Steve now.
Probably sound like Captain Obvious here, Matt, but I think in any singles match, if your first bowl's pretty good, you probably win more than you lose.
100%. Certainly sets you up for the remainder of the end. You know, if you can get that feel, get that first one inside a foot, and you know you're the same. Any singles that I've ever had any success in, it's always you walk away and go, you know, the difference was my first bowl. And when you struggle in a game, well, clearly, it's the first bowl's an issue. It's, crucial to get off to a big start. Perfect example. First one, put the pressure on Stevie, and then just backs it up. Another good draw shot on their foot past the jack.
There'd be a little bit of pressure here building. He said Nathan only needs 3 to go out. He's currently holding 2.
It's not too bad, Josh.
If he can get around the first, he's half a chance. Flop in. Probably 1 down.
Beautiful weight for the shot. Just hung there on the forehand side.
Nathan now probably be looking for the repeat of his last bowl's weight. This time with a little bit of jack behind it.
One bowl to play from Judy Nardella. Currently holding 1 and a measure. Trailing 11-15 on the scoreboard.
Was it an uncharacteristic bowl from Nath, that last one? Just particularly where he's been playing this way.
We might have seen a little bit of aggression there from Steve. Just, you know, he obviously got the back bowl. Nathan lost his last, but maybe a good opportunity there to reach, especially if Nathan draws this one. Sort of hard to say, deceiving. Could be 1, could be 3.
Definitely a lot more positive, this one. He's close. It's shifted out to the right of screen towards the pit. It hasn't gone in.
Get the feel Nathan thinks he's holding 1. Certainly a good conversion, was right in the area and obviously had to turn the head over. Stevie gave it every chance. Could have snagged the jack in the guts for 2. Yeah, one more to Nathan.
Takes the score 23-19.
So Nathan Murray now within striking distance, needing 2 to take the title. What do you think, Josh? Is there another twist in this game?
I actually kind of think there is for some reason. Just the way the last 2 days Steve's got himself out of trouble. So,
And that's the thing about Steve. He never goes away.
Yep.
He's always there, mate. He'll just keep chipping away at your heels.
it's just a sense I've got.
I think you're onto something.
It would be very interesting if, I'm not preempting anything here, but if Steve were to fall right now.
Wouldn't it? Be set for a showdown. Long way to go, though.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not. I don't think that's going to happen.
As we say, although Nathan hasn't nailed the jack, he's got 2 bowls in a perfect area, a perfect zone that he can certainly play a shot with confidence to an attacking draw shot, so to speak. And 2 bowls to sit there as Steve's now.
He likes it. He's just got to get down now.
Yeah,
There's
he's done
shot.
enough. Well played. Puts the pressure back onto the little champ. Sticking with the forehand side. Thought there might have been a chance to swap.
Well, he played his first 2 on his backhand, Matt, so that's what I was actually surprised about.
So probably more so looking to sit the bowl, I guess. Yeah, certainly an opportunity there on the backhand. Little touch.
He's not far away.
That's why we're sitting here, Josh, clearly.
Yep, absolutely.
Great shot, Stevie. Well, the shot's there to play.
Yes.
Forehand runner through Steve's shot bowl, jack to the pit. Got the 2 catches. Any bit of jack movement holds game with 1 bowl to play. Probably didn't play as much as I thought he would,
No,
Josh.
Just looked tight on our cameras too. Steve will be looking to do something similar. Maybe his last. Chances are, if he could move the jack, what do we say, 4 or 5 inches?
Yeah, just a nice, delicate draw shot, isn't it? Draw shot with confidence. Any touch But at this stage, he'll
Just take the one and run.
certainly take that. Puts him into the 20s.
23-20.
Now, ladies' final. It's tightened up again. We'll wait for the scoreboard to be updated, but Judy Darnella just scored the last end.
And I believe it was a reasonable size count too, Matty. It could be 15 all, at least.
Well, there you go. We've got a new leader. So that
17-15.
2 ends to go onto the board. Judy Nardella now leads the ladies' state singles final at 17-15.
Looks like Marilyn's going for a change of glasses.
Yeah, just that in between now. It's the lights have come on. Well, you said earlier, the lights have come on probably half an hour to 40 minutes ago. And just getting darker in that sort of transition between now the daylight and the light taking over. So
It's also the time when the pace starts coming off the green a bit.
certainly does.
Played many games over the years at this sort of transition period, Matt?
Yeah, more so probably at this event. Played a few night games here and there. Obviously, being part of Sydney Pennant, we played quite a few night games.
Yep.
Generally start at about 6 p.m. And you can certainly, it's the same thing. You get out there, at, whether it be sort of leading up to 5 o'clock and the green's free running, nice bit of finish. You chuck a few down before you go out to start the match, and then you have a bit of a break before you roll ups, and you come out and it's certainly dropped a second, 2 seconds, and it does drop very quickly. But yeah, it's look, I think it's great. I think the night games obviously gives everyone an opportunity to get to the venue and watch the game. So obviously you're relying on hopefully bigger crowds attending, showcasing the games, and yeah.
Stevie comes down here. Needs a bit more run. It's currently holding 2. That's now 3. Nath asks the marker to go down and have a look, as you have to do when you haven't played your third bowl.
Yeah, obviously pretty important position here. 3 down and just picking the right shot to play. Crucial time.
Does he stick to the forehand like he played with his last and just try and fix his line-up, or does he change back over the backhand and look to get underneath his own or turn over a couple of times?
I think the backhand option, like you said, he's on the way in. He plays good weight and he gets 2 or 3 turns out of his front bowl. He's going to be in the area. But again, I'm wrong.
Don't worry. There's plenty of bowlers make us all look silly during commentary flaps. He's nearly played draw weight here.
Well, we reduced it by 2, so Stevie Sullivan still holding 1.
Does he now change to try and get
Decision
around and land
time.
that last? He's looking at it.
Just debating what to play.
I think the bowl's turning enough to get around that short one of Naster.
There might be a shot just under that too, Josh. Just keeps close to the front one and little 2-foot trail.
Yeah, it's not
He's on
far
track.
away.
What's he done? Oh,
Great shot.
terrific shot. Could have been a whole lot better. Just got the wrong side of the jack that he wanted.
Still be holding 2.
The big question now, mate, would be which bowl is 4th shot. I think obviously Nathan needing a 2. Could be a chance of a backhand runner for the 2 bowls if he's got 3rd and 4th.
Yes. I'd be back, and he's got third and fourth there. He's awfully
He's
close to
very
the shot
close.
bowl, all Jack.
Ooh.
Oh, it has gone right out to the peg. It does look like it's past the line from
Trickled
this
over the
angle.
line by about half an inch. Stays in, and the title was decided, but
That was a good bowl.
it was a great
Very
shot.
good bowl, bit unlucky. We're still continuing on a dead end. And it remains at 23-20. And on the rink next door, I did see 3 red paddles go up, and Marilyn Stevenson has the lead back at 18-17.
Certainly chopping and changing over there. Rink 10.
A very handy starter here from Stevie. And a very handy reply.
Pretty decent reply. Terrific shot. Could it be, Josh, those little things that happen? Jack just rolls over the boundary line by an inch. Is it the little thing that, you know, just plays in the favour of Stevie Sullivan and his opportunity to get back in the game?
Sort of thinking, well, it might be my day.
What is the story, please?
Mark has indicated 1 to Nathan so far.
Similar angle, but just going to pull up short. Leaves a shot
Yeah,
for Steve to play on the forehand.
So he wouldn't change a lot of his weight.
Certainly got an interest.
Yeah, that's good enough for 1, I reckon.
One in.
He's probably playing something similar with the. Has he got the way to do it though?
I'm just going to pull up alongside his previous bowl, but Steve will be looking to play pretty much the same bowl he's just played. He set his bowl up and over to get the 1, but will be a nice little trail.
Any jack movement would be good here.
He's on a pretty decent line for it too.
He's awfully close.
Have a look at this for a shot. Well done, Steve.
3
Touch.
shots, I reckon.
Yes, the marker indicates 3.
I see backhand.
He's got to use the shelf of his bowls, doesn't
Yeah,
he? Just give himself a chance
And if
up
he
through
happens
that.
to be wide off his outside one, he can probably push it onto his own and bring it across onto the jack as well too.
Yep. Sort of weight would you be playing up there, mate? Sort of 3 or 4 foot just to give yourself a chance? Sort of sit and stay, or
Yeah, I was probably
Bit
thinking
more?
2 yards.
Yep.
Yeah, 2-3 yards. Well, made a lot out of us.
yet again?
He's liking it.
Certainly backing himself here on the forehand.
Oh, this is a great bowl.
What a bowl. What a bowl from Nathan Murray.
Great bowl.
I think that's an indication, Josh, obviously he's got the confidence on that side of the rink. You know, while the shot probably looked like the percentages were on the back end, he still had the belief that he could draw the shot, and it's about backing yourself, isn't it?
Yep. Score is now 24-20 in favour of Nathan. We are he is one shot away from potentially his first state singles title.
He's certainly been threatening on occasions to take this title out. Obviously had his chance
In Warrnambool.
in Warrnambool, yes. Obviously been a pretty consistent singles player for the last couple of years.
I touched on the Richmond Union singles win that he got.
Yeah.
Remember watching that match, I didn't know much about him, Matty, and he played against a good mate of mine and Barry Lester in that final.
Yep.
And he was exceptional.
Great shot from Judy Nardella.
Ooh, yes. It's possibly 3 or 4 there, next door.
2 down the last bowl conversion. It looks like 4 from here.
Marilyn's just come out of the toilet and she'll look up and see that and she go, what? Judy Nardella, a former World Cup winner at one stage there, Matt.
Yeah. A few years ago, she obviously went through a period where she was in red hot form and took that title out.
Great bowl there by Steve. Good shot.
Said to her last night when she finished her day's play, she'd obviously advanced to the semi-finals, and I wouldn't say surprised with herself, but sort of the words were a bit of life in the old dog yet. So good on her.
It's a great thing about this game. Regardless of your age, your ability, your gender, it's you can keep on plugging on if you can.
No barriers, mate.
That's exactly right. Stevie looking to get up there, very similar to his last bowl. Maybe get to Nath's closest.
He's certainly giving himself a chance. He's ducking for cover, I think. It's probably a little bit more than what you thought, but he had to make sure he was past the jack. That was first and foremost. So it makes Nathan play the right way now. So opportunities, and you're going to win these events. You've got to take them. So here's his first one. He's on the trot, likes it out of the hand.
When he's been on the trot, he's been awfully close. Oh, great bowl.
And does. Great shot, Nathan Murray, for a game lie. He's pretty confident with himself, out of the hand. He liked it.
He's not fast, Stevie. He's on the mat. He's
To
ready
save
to go.
game. Probably the biggest attacking shot Stevie's played. And there it is, Josh.
There we are. Nathan Murray is our 2021 Victorian State Singles Champion, defeating Steve Sullivan 25-20. It was a fantastic game.
Great contest. Two players that obviously in form and both played terrific bowls to get to the final. And Steve out of the blocks. Nathan bounced back. Steve regained, but Nathan good enough to go on with it. So congratulations, Nathan Murray, state champion.
We will be leaving a live stream very shortly. Unfortunately, for those, I know there's a few people that are keen to see if we could stay on for the ladies' final. We don't have the actual, with the way we're set up here at the moment, we don't have the ability to move the cameras, unfortunately. It's currently 20-18 in favour of Judy Nardella. Those wondering at home, if you want to keep tracking scores, regardless of tonight's match, throughout the week, our events page on the Bowls Victoria website has all the results, all the fixtures. So we'd like to thank everyone for joining us this evening. And we'll have another big day of bowls tomorrow. We'll have more mixed pairs. And we have the start of our champion events starting tomorrow. So I'd like to thank Matty Flapper for being my co-commentator for the major portion of that match.
Good to be with you, Bruce. Josh.
Thanks, Matty. And we'll see everybody tomorrow. Cheers, guys.
And my socialising skills as well. Should definitely give it a go. It's definitely lots of fun, and it makes me really happy making new friends and bowling, especially when you win something at the end of the day. Yeah.